Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Uh. One time blitzing disguised as Verizon workers. Evil thoughts in their minds to divide and murk us. I'm an instrument of God, designed with purpose. While you dirty your shirt as you slide with serpents. Nothing less than greatness what I'm trying to align with. Stand alone, mindful about who I side with. Get the dollars, my mind stays on the profit. While niggas gossip, I'm focused more on my options. The new school is cool, but I'm still Biggie rocking. Coochie with the Timbs, enough style to bring a flock in. Perfectionist, excellence, anytime I rock shit. Spit it wicked, and with scissors with the sample chopping. Fuck a LV, UDs on my attire. Wolf rocking the ski, that's me who made the fire. You could either use your mind to catch a hollow through it. That foolish shit, man, I'm chopping through it like Tommy Hewitt. Let's get to the business. You can't afford to miss this. There's rappers and there's MCs. The difference is tremendous. You can't learn running your mouth. Shut up and listen. You can't learn running your mouth. Shut up and listen. Let's get to the business. You can't afford to miss this. There's rappers and there's MCs. The difference is tremendous. You can't learn running your mouth. Shut up and listen. You can't learn running your mouth. Shut up and listen. Setting bar heights far beyond nice. Give a fuck about what your squad is like. Y'all the broad type, scribe bars the hard type. Heartfelt lyrics, but y'all got me number than Mr. D's foot with the frostbite. Building a legacy, but wasn't given the tools. Over time, you improvise on what was given to you and watch who you listening to. Cause I done seen niggas play plenty games. I got that Jack Nicholson view. On the hills of perfection, learning from predecessors that might have got misdirected, evaded them cloud chasers, expose them for who they are. Cause some of you want attention way more than you want progressions. First came with a different kind of movement, provide a dope rhyme and hope folks will be vibing to it. But this time, I'll be moving like Tommy Hewitt, wearing MC's faces. Here it takes a difference is tremendous. You can't learn running your mouth, shut up and listen. You can't learn running your mouth, shut up and listen. Let's get to the business. You can't afford to miss this. There's rappers and there's MCs. The difference is tremendous. You can't learn running your mouth, shut up and listen. You can't learn running your mouth, shut up and listen.
What's up, everybody? It's your brother, Guy Nollywood Jr. Represent the RBG Nation. I'm coming to you with another exclusive program, and I want to give a shout out to my brother Rashid, Hotel King. What's going on? Good to see you. Welcome aboard. And as you can see, today's topic says suspect versus Brandon. And I really want to really talk about this because, it bothers me where I see black folks coming on these white programs and basically making an ass out of themselves. We see that with Jerry Springer. We see that with Jerry Springer. We see that with Maury. We see that we always see black folks really acting like a fool on these white programs or these white popcasts or TV shows, and I'm disgusted by it. I don't like it. I don't like it. And it's like we don't benefit. Black folks, we don't benefit from that. We really don't. Only thing we get out is a little. Only thing black people would get out is a little. He said, "Don't forget." Steve Walker, yeah, he's another one. Yeah, he used to be Jerry Springer bodyguard, and he came out with his own show. But it's like it seemed like to me, all these white people, they use us to get rich, and the only thing we get is a little butter biscuits, and we might and a little, I guess they could ride a little limo, or they get a little free room and board just for one night, and then and that's it, and it's like. When that's going to stop? Jerry Springer became, he don't have to work a day in his life. Like he's good. Maury, he's good. I mean, they don't have to, and the thing is, they don't have to do much. They just go in there, oh, you're not the father, say a little something, and that's it. And they get paid millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? He's and those black folks can never come in his community. They would never come and live next to him, But I want to talk about this no jumper situation. Let me see if I can invite somebody. Let me see if I could just let me see if I can share this real quick. Just give me a second. Let me see what's going on here. Oh, shoot. Yeah, so I want to talk about this no jumper situation. Oh, shoot. I'm all over the place with this damn thing. Okay. Let me see if I can... Okay. Sorry about that. So yeah, he said our black people got white supremacy, Scott syndrome. Yeah, Stockholm syndrome mindset is a shame. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. But I want to share something with you because something happened to our brother Brandon, and I like Brandon. Brandon's a cool brother. He supported me. But the thing is about Brandon, I was very surprised that he'd been on this white dude's platform called No Jumper. Now, No Jumper is really run by a white porn star named Adam 22. I look at his show like no different than a Jerry Springer, no different than I don't know. It's really ratchet. Who's the other guy? Shoot. You would say it's almost like Jerry Springer. A lot of ratchetness, a lot of degenerate. And Adam 22 he's an ex-porn star. You know what I'm saying? And he decided, I don't know if he retired from the adult industry. I don't know, but this is his thing now. No jumping is his thing. And that's all he interviews is, just black folks that is just from the streets. Black folks from the streets, the so-called these degenerate, ratchet people. Like, it's just, they have nothing to show for nothing. You know what I'm saying? And this is who he gets on. He gets on these so-called thugs and these so-called gangbangers, and this is who he gets. He don't get nobody. He don't get nobody from my race that's intelligent, that would bring something to the table, but he will bring the most degenerate black folks he could find, and he'll interview them. And in some cases, there've been fights, there've been threats. He gets this guy, this fake blood named Whack 100. He's became a social media snitch, and it's like, damn, dude, like this all he does. If he's not, because he first started off, interviewing other porn stars, because that's his thing. But then he wanted to be like, well, we'll pay these degenerate Negroes some money, and this is how his show keeps going. This is how he gets paid. You know what I'm saying? So because the Jerry Springers, the Mauries, and all that, they became like he said, the Steve Willico, they became obsolete. Nobody's not really watching them. Because it's kind of played out. So now they bringing this stuff on YouTube, because more people will watch YouTube than watch TV. So that's the new thing now. And white people learn from that. They say, well, if I want to make some money, I could pay these pathetic Negroes who ain't doing nothing, who's out there in the streets. They want to make a little money, and I can get them on my platform and let them act out, let them wild out. These guys, that's all they do is use the N-word constantly. And there's been many cases, there's been some cases, there's been cases of fights on his platform. Now, usually when there's fights, of course, the ratings is going to go up. Any type of drama, the ratings going to go up. So I want to play something real quick, just to show you. Now, Brandon, I was very surprised Brandon got on the show. I was like, damn, Brandon. I'm like, wow, Brandon, out of all the podcasts, he decided to get on this ratchet, this white dude's panel. So I didn't understand that. So Brandon, he got on his show, and him and Suspect, they went at it. They automatically went at it. Now, I don't know who Suspect is. I just know later who he was, because the first video that he came out with went viral. Now I know who he was, but what else? Prospect. So him and Prospect went at it the first time, but they wasn't about to fight. Prospect, of course, got up, step outside. Brandon was like, nah, sit down, blah, 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 blah. But that didn't happen. Nothing happened. Now, the second time, somebody decided, if we bring Brandon back on again, some idiot said we're gonna bring back Prospect. Now they don't like each other. Now for me, I don't hang out where my enemies hang out. I don't hang, because I know, unless it's one of those things where it just happened, where I just happen to see my enemy. But as far as if I know my enemy is there, I'm not gonna volunteer to be around my enemy, knowing there's a possibility it's going to be some drama. You know what I'm saying? I try to avoid drama as much as possible, but if the drama comes to me, I'm going to face it. So somebody said, well, we're going to bring Prospect back on. And they started out automatically right away they started going on each other. Now it was just jokes, you know. It was just jokes. And then they got to the topic because the first time they went at it, the first time they met, they didn't even, it was so out of control, they couldn't get to the topic. They couldn't get to the topic because they was keep going back and forth. So Brandon said, well, I'm going to go back on the show again. He said, I don't care, Prosper. Now, my thing is like, why would you want to go back on that show knowing that it's a ratchet show, knowing that you better than that, you know? All the podcasts you could have went on, why that? Why that? You know, I remember Dr. Umar said he would never go to these white podcasts, and he gave his reason. He said, I'm not going to be telling something that they already know. You know, they already know, you know, what we're going through. They already know. And 9 out of 10 is a setup. Because white people love drama. Let's be realistic. White folks love drama. We've been here in many cases where you could be minding your own business and white people would just say something to you because of your presence. They love drama. And unfortunately, black people just decide to do the exact same thing. You could be minding your own business. And next thing you know, they grilling you. They saying something about you. Be like, damn, you know, we both the same race and you acting like that. So, yeah, so I'm going to play this. Let me share this real quick. What's this? Okay, I don't know what happened here. It's one thing about I don't like. It's just think this keep jumping.
About this very serious.
Okay, give me a second. I'm just letting this thing load. Okay, I'm just going to share this now. Oh, shit. How did I do that for?
He liked to wrestle his own match.
So as you can see here, that's Brandon. And this is Prospect over here with the hood on. And this is towards the end of the show. This was definitely towards the end of the program. This was like an hour and some change long. But they went on it the first time, then they stopped. Then they talked about the topics. And now this is basically towards the end of the program, and you'll see what happened. Now, I never thought, to be honest with you, I never thought they was going to ever, you know, get physical. But Brandon should have known that. Brandon should have known that at some point he was going to have to put hands on his dude at some point, because it's like, y'all don't get along. He don't like you. You don't like him. What's the point? But here we go.
He liked to wrestle his own match.
That's true.
And grab booty cheeks.
Damn.
He liked to
I
defend
like
pedophiles.
booty cheeks, that's for sure.
That's crazy. He liked
I
to
didn't
defend
defend
pedophiles.
anyone.
He liked
I Lars, be honest. Did I defend the dude?
Watch
No.
Wee Wee.
No, exactly.
No.
So you're lying.
like to watch
He said I
Wee Wee.
didn't defend him.
Like to watch Wee Wee.
I'm just saying, man.
The Wee Wee watcher is out of control.
Yeah, so he hasn't
You gotta
uploaded
get
to
a
his
hold
channel
of
in
it.
6 months.
You bugging today. You watching Wee Wees, you pedos, you got booty shorts on. Today has been a crazy day for you.
If you go beat up that pedophile,
Today's been a crazy
you're gonna have a
day
lot
for
of cool points in the
Today's been
streets.
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. Those shorts are way too high. And knowing that he's Brandon's a big dude. Dude, you couldn't get a little bigger shorts than that. At least cover, your knees. You know what I'm saying? Like those shorts are way like at first I thought they were biker shorts. You know what I'm saying? I thought they were biker shorts, but yeah, that's too many. That's too much skin showing right there, bro. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's not a good look, Brandon. But Brandon, you could tell he's for a big guy, he's pretty in shape. You could tell.
Beat you up.
He probably would.
No, me. Beat you up.
You will beat me up.
Yes, nigga,
You can't beat me up.
Stop bringing up
You
other
can't
niggas
beat me
who
up.
in jail. Nigga,
You
nigga
really
beat
think you could beat me up?
Nigga beat you up.
No, you can't.
You mean?
No.
Nigga,
You
then
can't.
I'm outside.
All right.
I'm gonna be outside as soon as this is over. If you feel that strongly, get
All right.
cracking.
Follow me.
Follow you. I'm gonna walk right outside, right
Follow
past
me
you.
outside the building.
I'm
away
gonna
from
walk
security.
right out the
Follow me
building.
away from
I'm gonna walk
security,
right
and you
out
can
the
do whatever
building,
you
and you're
like
gonna
to.
do
And we
nothing.
can do whatever you like to.
You're gonna walk
No,
right. You just said you was gonna beat me up. Now we're gonna do whatever.
All right, we're not doing none of that. No fights.
Listen,
No
wait.
fights.
See, and that's another thing about these white folks. Like that dude right there, this little goofy Neanderthal right there. He was the main one instigating it. He was the main one laughing because he's cool with Prospect. Him and Prospect, they cool. So he was the main one, gassing it up and laughing and all this other stuff. And now when you realize things are getting serious, all of a sudden, enough, because the rule is you can't fight on the show. You can't. I know. Well, that's one of the rules you can't do. You can't fight on the show. Somebody swing on somebody. That can. That can lead to being fired or being banned for coming back. I did not know Prospect. I know he was a regular on the show, but I didn't know he was getting paid for it. I didn't know he was getting paid for it. I didn't know he was like an employee, so to speak. So I don't know how much Adam 22 charge. I don't know how much he pays just to sit on your ass and just basically talk about topics but it sounds like it's easy money. But Brandon got to understand too that this show is really ratchet. I don't think this is for Brandon. I think he need to be on a podcast where it's more structured and more professional, where he could feel safe. He could feel safe. Like I would never, knowing this, I would never get on this type of show. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't do that. You know what I mean? Unless I really, really need the money. But I'm not gonna engage into, arguments, petty arguments, and snapping on each other. I'm not getting into that. If it's not about the topic, it's not worth. If it's not worth discuss. It's not worth getting into other silly stuff. So this been going on since they came in, and I'm not gonna lie, Brandon, he's not innocent. He's not innocent. I mean, he's still bringing, he's still saying that, Prospect, you said the N-word with the ER and this and that. So, he's not innocent, but Brandon have tried to say, okay, let's get into the topic. Let's focus on the topic. Because after a while it gets boring. But it just came back. It's just that you can't put these guys. You can't put two people who don't like each other in the same room. It's just that it just can't happen.
Come outside the
No
booth.
fight.
You see how niggas use
No
coded
fight.
language?
So we can do what you like to.
Can I
Come on.
briefly say this?
Yes,
You see how
please.
niggas use
Gucci
coded
bag.
language? He
Gucci
first
bag.
said
You watch
he want to fight me. Then he said we gonna do whatever you want to do. This just talks crazy.
You
Like,
don't want to do
listen,
nothing.
I'm not worried about
Let's
your
get
little
into
high
some-
yellow ass,
You
bro.
just
For
talk-
real.
Put your booty shorts on. You
We
don't
both
wanna
got
do
our
nothing.
shirts on.
So
we can-
Papoose claims he wrote 90% of Remy Ma's music, guys.
He's a buster.
Papoose apparently claims he wrote 90% of Remy Ma's music.
You
I
Remy
believe
Ma
it.
right now. You changing up the story.
Nigga, you watch dicks. Shut
He
up.
said we could do. He said I'm gonna whoop your ass. Then said we could do whatever you want to do.
Now you see, that's Brandon. That's what he does. He, instead of him saying sticking to the topic, he wants to still attack this dude. Now Brandon, I'm assuming Brandon's much older than Prospect. Now he should have said, "Look, you know what? I'm going to focus on the topic because I won't get engaged into that." But Brandon said that he claimed that he used to be in a gang and all this other stuff, and now he's a changed man now. We all knew Brandon. He went up against Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed is afraid of Brandon. Now, I know Brandon can fight. I know he can. He been doing judo or whatever, whatever karate thing that he does, and when he has video of it, we saw him trained, we saw him work out. So I'm assuming that he's good with them hands. Prospect, he can't fight. The guy like that, I met guys like that. They all talk and they can't fight for a lick. They can't fight for nothing. They can't fight if their life depending on it. But they got a lot of mouth. So I ain't gonna front Brandon. He does this. This is what he does. I don't know if he's pissed off. I don't know if he wants to put this guy to a test. I just feel like it's a waste of time. I'm not gonna, because you don't know one thing about people like Prospect. This guy is the most cowardly dude ever. This guy is the most cowardly dude. He fight people. He only gonna fight people that he think he could beat, or he feels that. And if he feels that if he feels that he won't be able to beat him, he will carry a weapon. He will use a weapon. And this guy and Prospect he's supposed to be a father. That's what I understand about these guys who claim they're fathers. You still acting like a kid. You still acting like you don't have no kids. People dudes that go to jail, they have no children. They have no children. You got a kid. You gotta, unless you go to jail because you had no choice, or you had to rob because you had to feed your kid, or but if you're still in the streets and you still talking that street stuff and all that, and you got a family to feed, I think that's a problem. I think that's a problem. But let's continue.
Dude,
All right, bro.
Look,
You watch.
look.
you know what I want to do? I want to podcast.
I want you
Ignore
to stop
all
watching
light skin.
Wee- I want you to stop watching Wee Wees and put some pants on.
I will
That's
do
what
both
want
of
you to
those
do.
for you.
So-
When you wear
I
some
will do
jeans
both of those
and
for
stop
you.
volunteering to see dicks. then you might be
Unbiasedly,
able to do something.
unbiasedly.
I want you to go to Turkey
Stop
and get your
volunteering to
hairline
see
replenished
I'll
and get
do
that ball
Take them
spot filled
booty
in.
shorts off.
Listen,
I'll do that when you take your
listen.
booty shorts
Hey,
off, nigga.
hey,
Stop wearing booty
Donnie,
shorts off, nigga.
take this nigga on a
This
tour to
nigga got
Turkey to
iPlay
get his
tennis
hairline
shoes on.
replenished.
Stop playing. I play tennis racket shoes on, nigga, and get
They
your
gonna
booty
revival
shorts.
y'all
Fuck you,
friend
nigga.
laughing at
It's
you.
funny.
Nigga.
When you're funny, it's funny.
Y'all friend laughing at you.
Now,
That's
here's
a
the
damn
thing.
shame.
He
Yeah.
about to get beat up by a guy wearing booty shorts.
This
Hey,
nigga.
imagine you talking name about whooped out by a nigga in booty shorts.
Please
That's
do it.
crazy. That would be reality. That would be a reality.
I would love to see it. You wrestle on mats. We
Hey.
ain't seen you do nothing with your hands yet.
Hey, When you see it, you go. Well, you're not gonna see it. You're gonna be knocked out. Everybody else gonna see it.
The reality is this:
Show me. They're gonna be watching.
Show me.
Man,
suspect.
Suspect.
You know you want to make it home to your
First
kids.
it was if you call
You know you want to make it home
now
to your
it's you ain't gonna make it home to
Come on,
your
bitch
kids.
ass
You see how the
nigga, show
story?
me.
See how the
Show
story
me.
evolves?
Come show
First
me.
it was we was gonna
Just
catch a
come show
fade.
me.
Then we gonna do what you
Who
want
said I
to
was
do.
talking
Now
about more
it's
than
death
the feds?
threats.
Who
Now
said I
it's
was talking about more than the feds? You police ass.
you said you're not gonna make it home to your
You
kids.
said anything about more than the feds?
What does that even mean?
You cannot make it home from a fade. You bitch ass
Listen,
nigga.
you cannot
Stop putting
make it
police
home
shit on me.
from a
Stop putting
fade.
police shit on me.
Boy, you like
But that's another thing too about these ratchet popcasts, because they, black folks, they like to embarrass themselves. They like to really prove white folks right. They like to prove white folks right. Now you hear this dude keep saying, Prospect kept saying, keep calling him the N-word. Keep calling him the N-word. Keep calling him the N-word in front of white folks. And these are the same black people that get upset if their white friends use the N-word towards them. They get upset. And that's almost in every white podcast. Is they take the most degenerate Negro, even on No Jumper. Every time Adam 22 get these dudes, like somebody like Prospect, they use the N-word like it's no tomorrow. Like there's no tomorrow. And he's saying this in front of this white guy. That's why I don't like that.
a true light-skinned nigga. Hey,
federal faggot.
You should have that energy in that alley that day.
You a federal faggot.
You should have that energy in that alley that day.
Federal faggot.
I'm gonna listen.
We gotta watch this.
This is a fact.
He's a federal faggot and a wee watcher.
Can I get a word? Can I get a word? Can I get a word?
You're a wee watcher.
This is a fact.
You're a wee watcher.
This is a fact. I'm gonna say what I want to say.
And you
I
watch
call this nigga Antoine Dotson and everything else. I'm still gonna come to No Jumper. I'm gonna walk in and out this. If it want to do something, there's nothing but space and opportunity. Ain't worried about a light skin, no nigga, period. So if it's that gay, he's always bringing up fighting. You can't get a nigga bringing up fighting, try to put it on another nigga to do something.
So,
but I just caught you one. I just caught you one. Just like you are.
Guys.
Now,
he probably would.
No, me. Beat you up.
Oh, shoot. I messed up. Let me go over here. Let me go back. So that's one thing. Prospect, his whole thing is he don't like nobody calling him a bitch. Because the last dude that called him a bitch, which I will show, it was a white boy that called him a bitch, and he didn't like it. So that's his trigger point. When you call him a bitch, he gets upset. And this is what happens.
This is a bitch. All right,
This is a fact.
He's a federal faggot and a wee watcher.
Can I get a word? Can I get a word? Can I get a word?
You're a wee watcher.
This is a fact.
You're a wee watcher.
This is a fact. I'm gonna say what I want to say.
I
call this nigga Antoine Dotson and everything else. I'm still gonna come to No Jumper. I'm gonna walk in and out this. If it want to do something, there's nothing but space and opportunity. Ain't worried about a light skin, no nigga, period. So if it's that gay, he's always bringing up fighting. You can't get a nigga bringing up fighting, try to put it on another nigga to do something.
So,
but I just caught you one. I just caught you one. Just like you are.
Guys.
Oh.
Guys, come on. Guys, come on.
Let's do something.
We knew he had a weapon.
No weapon. Let's do something.
What's going on? What you gonna do?
Let's do some bitch. Let's do some bitch. All right, niggas going shit on me. Nigga, do nothing. Nigga, shut up, bitch. You a bitch. Nigga, that part. Nigga, shut up. Nigga, shut up. Nigga, shut up. Nigga, you got spit on. You got, yeah, you did.
Don't
Yeah, you
spit
did. I
touch
watched
me.
it. I
Don't
watched
spit
it.
touch
I
me.
watched it.
Don't spit touch me.
I watched it. Nigga,
Hey,
I
bro,
watched
y'all,
it. I watched it, nigga.
bro, y'all are tripping, bro. What's going on?
What you want to do about it, nigga? What you want to do about it? Meet me outside, nigga.
You're scaring me.
What you want to do about it?
You're
What you want to do about it?
You're
What you want to do about it, nigga? What you want to do about it? That part. Nothing. Nothing. Look what? Do something about
Such a
it.
good pod before this happened,
Nigga.
guys. It was so good.
Nigga,
Intelligent
do
dialogue.
Fuck me.
I was just about to say that, you know.
What the?
And see, what I didn't understand, these white folks, they caused this. They the one who caused this. They the one who caused this. They knew these guys was going to fight, but they knew they was hoping something, and now their rate is going to go up. The subscribers are going to go up. The likes is going to go up. This was all planned out, and all of a sudden, guys, you know, this is, you know, you can't fight. It's not right. No, you set this whole thing up. You set this whole thing up. And black people, we need to stop showing out in front of these white folks. We need to stop showing out of these white folks. It's the same thing that happened with Will Smith and Chris Rock. We got to stop that. We got to stop that. You know, showing out in front of these white people like that. That's not a good look. Just for them to turn around and say, y'all don't know how to stick together. Just for them to give them more ammunition, just to say shit like, oh, you black people don't know how to stick together. And this is exactly what I mean. This is exactly what I mean. And Prospect, he's such a coon. I mean, this dude is such a coon. He really goes hard attacking his own people in front of white folks. And that's why I spit on you. That's why I spit on you. And just to let you know, if you spat on somebody, that is considered assault. That is considered assault and battery. There's no different if so. That's the most disrespectful thing you could ever do to somebody. Because I would have did the same thing like Brandon. I would have got up and went after his ass. I probably would have just waited until he come out the building. Because ain't nobody gonna spit on me and think they're gonna get away with it. That's just not happening. I don't play that shit. That's the worst thing. I'd rather get punched in the face. But it's the same thing. I think it's the same. It sets the same equivalency of getting punched in the face. It's the same thing. So to me, I think that was a coward move. I think that's a coward move that you could do. You want to spit on somebody? That's coward. He's a coward. I met dudes like this. I met dudes like Prospect. They got all this mouth, no action, and at the end of the day, they're the biggest bitch of all bitches. All mouth, but no, they got all like they say, all bark, no bite.
Man, y'all tripping, bro.
Come do something.
Man, that's why y'all had security, man. Y'all was on.
No jumper was cracking.
The whole time.
Come do something, Mr. Black.
Man brought a knife to.
Come do something.
No, there's no weapons. No weapons. No weapons.
Come do something, Mr. Black.
There's a knife right there.
Come
You
do
doing
something.
that?
Where?
A Swiss Army knife.
Where? Police ask you where? You're the feds. Federal fed. Bitch ass.
I think that nigga brought a fight to a multi-fight.
Like, share, subscribe, no jumper, running it up. We're not done yet, by the way. Make sure to subscribe to the Lush World channel as well.
This shit
Fuck
crazy.
you talking to? You crazy as fuck. Who a bitch?
My nigga look like a baby sumo.
That shit got. I'm not gonna lie.
It was nigga taught shoe
They said
love.
Brandon like a baby.
No, he didn't even touch me.
You fell over. Hey, look.
Did I fall? I didn't fall.
Hey,
The fuck?
man, look.
Why ain't making things up?
I thought it got
Hey,
away.
man. No, you try to fake
Hey,
come in at the end.
hey,
Look,
no,
hey,
no, no, but
Lush,
why did,
that nigga was, hey, he was gonna talk shoe, Lush.
Yeah, you know,
That's what I meant to say. You try to fake come in at the end like you was gonna stand in.
I'm just trying
Man, you
to
was gonna be
minimize
over the no
damage.
jumper table.
No, there's already footage of me trying to like get away from skirmishes, so that's why I tried to. I tried to like do my best to stand in the middle.
Bro, I'm trying to make sure he
We
got
was
no
good
big.
till he got the
He
call.
said, he said, oh, no, nigga, I'm gonna make sure that ain't got shit. Nigga.
I will say that it was
Look.
it is improper decorum to try to bring attention to a weapon. Yeah, that
Hey,
shit was-
what's up? This a rap like the condoms y'all be wearing or what?
I mean, look,
This was crazy.
I'm gonna read the
Y'all
super
on
chats.
bullshit, man.
I'm gonna read. Let's read the super chats before we get up out of here.
All right, let me check this out. Damn, what is it? Where's this thing here? Okay. I don't know why is it funny. This is another thing I don't understand about black folks. We will take something serious like that and we will laugh about it. We will think it's funny. I don't think there's nothing wrong with Brandon has said about somebody having a weapon at a job because it was supposed to be a place for people to feel safe. And now, you know, you got people like Whack 100 saying that he's a snitch because Prospect pull out a weapon on a job. It's not in the streets, but this is in the workplace. People can get sued. Like, I don't understand. Like, why is it funny? Because people are trying to make people aware. And Brandon only said that because if Prospect feels that he was all big and bad, because Prospect said, well, you can't beat me. You can't beat me. Why are you pulling out a weapon? Why are you pulling out a weapon? That's what I don't understand. Why are you pulling out a weapon? That doesn't make any sense. But you pulling out a weapon, and then somebody say, "Oh, you're a B because you're telling." That don't make no sense whatsoever. That don't make no sense. Because people get sued, and then what? Adam 22 can you know he'd be looking at a big lawsuit. So I don't know why people always think that's funny and they want to laugh and this and that and call somebody a snitch because because they're reporting an incident that shouldn't be there. Now, if it's in the streets, that's one thing. But you brought a weapon to a job. Yeah, that's serious. That has to be called out. So I don't know what's the big deal. And it doesn't make Brent less of a man, to do to expose that. So I've been trying to figure out who is this person suspect. I want to know who is this person suspect. And I remember a video a while back, and I didn't even know it was him. I really forgot about this video. But I'm going to screen share this. So this would tell you who is suspect and get to know more about him. Now, last time I checked, the update was suspect. He got arrested. I'm assuming he's in jail for doing some more dumb shit. So that's the update now. He's locked up, which he should be locked up. He should be locked up. Some as unfortunately, some of our people are just so unstable where they can't imagine, they can't handle freedom. They can't handle freedom. Some of our people need to be controlled, need to be, put in the control box. So that's the update for now. With suspect, but let's do a little background check with suspect.
Last night on No Jumper, where notorious failure Almighty Dodson got extremely angry at Brendan and decided to assault and batter him live on the show, resulting in a zesty kerfuffle between the two of them.
Guys.
Now, I do want to start at the beginning here because most of you probably have no idea who Dodson even is. So let me explain. So Dodson is a guy who went viral a long time ago for being on the news.
Your people up trying to rape them, so y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife.
Now, I ain't gonna front. When I first saw this, I forgot all about this video. I remember this video. I thought this guy was a Fruit Loop. The way how he was moving his mouth and how he was like, they would say this is the victim's brother. So this is him. This is Antoine Dodson. Usually when you got dudes that's named Antoine, that sound like a homosexual. That's perfect for a homosexual. That name is definitely perfect for a homosexual. I thought this guy was the way he was acting in this video. I thought this was a fruitcake. So I didn't know that was him, but this is him. I remember that video a long time ago. I forgot. I believe it was a 2010 video. I forgot, but yeah, this is Antoine Dodson. Yeah. So, but I didn't know. I don't know how you go from being like this, and then all of a sudden you want to be gangster all of a sudden. This guy Antoine Dodson, aka Prospect. This guy's a fruitcake. I mean, look at this. Look at him.
People up trying to rape them, so y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband because they raping everybody out here.
So that's Dodson, and please do not call him Dodson. He does not he doesn't want anyone. If you call Dodson, he says that he will physically beat you up.
I want to give like fair warning to niggas, bro. That's all my mama. If a nigga ever walk up to me and call me Antoine Dodson, I'm beating your ass.
Now, to make a long story short, Dodson used to be in Black P-Stone gang in Los Angeles until he was put off. He's no longer a gang member, so now he's a pimp, and he goes around and traffics women on the streets of LA. He openly brags about this on No Jumper.
He's not now. Who said he was a gang member? I'm big old pimping cooked.
Pimping? Are you gang member or are you a pimp?
I don't understand how a dude like that could pimp women. Like this dude don't even look like he getting money. He don't look like I don't understand how. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get how this guy say he could be a pimp. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And then he was in some gang. Then they show footage of his own people. They show footage of him being in a gang, and his own homies was beating the shit out of him. I mean, just beating him up. You know what I'm saying? So I understand. I notice he moves around a lot because he don't get no respect nowhere. He can't be a pimp because nobody respects him being a pimp. He can't be part of the gang because nobody respects him being a gang. And it's like, now his next step was he wanted to be a rapper, and that didn't go so well with him.
One thing I don't agree with is the you feel me, the pimp and pandering charge shit. You feel me? Because I can potentially get one of those. You feel me? But allegedly. But
now I also want to mention that Dodson did have a very brief, very short-lived career as a local rapper in LA, but he fell off because he was trash. And so you got this BPS dropout turned failed rapper, turned pimp, turned podcaster. And the most famous thing he's ever done, the thing he's known for the most is beating up that guy Kelpie the P for calling him a bitch.
Niggas really know, nigga. I'm on tracks, boy. Fuck out of here.
I ain't never
nigga.
seen no bitches.
Said that, and this is the first time he won. That's the only time he became known of beating up this white cat who's, I guess he's trying to be he's a rapper, and he became known, and he was on No Jumper then. And it was the same situation. He don't like nobody calling him a bitch, and then this white boy calling him a bitch, and then he spit on him, and then started swinging on him, and Adam 22 still kept him on. Adam 22 did not say, "Hey, you can't be on my show no more." Because this white dude, because he could have easily sued him. So I don't know how they compensate this dude right here. I don't know what they did to compensate him. But the only thing, Adam 22 just gave him a warning. Like, that's not, no. I mean, he physically hit somebody. And one thing I noticed about white folks, they always going to protect the most ignorant Negro they can find. Because these are the ones that they will do. They will find people like Prospect to do their dirty work. So that's what happened. So this is the first incident, and that's how No Jumper. They, like I said, their ratings went up. They became noticed, and this is what happened. This became another. Like I said, this became another Jerry Springer on YouTube.
Who are you?
I'm Lil Kelpie,
No one
the
knows
pimp.
you.
Kelpie the motherfucking
Kelpie the
pimp.
clown.
You
Fuck
ain't gotta know who I am, bro.
Fuck out of here.
Fucking Ben Franklin knows who I am, bitch.
Fuck out of here.
He knows who the fuck I am. I'm
You
getting
said
money
what?
every day. I said Ben Franklin knows who the fuck I am, bitch.
Who you calling a bitch, though?
I'm calling you a bitch.
Adam 22. Now he moves out the way.
Fuck you calling a bitch, go out, boy.
Now you see Adam 22? You see what I'm talking about? You see what I'm talking about? This is supposed to be his show. How come you didn't step in and stop your boy? Now, Adam 22, he knows Prospect. He knows Prospect. He knows Prospect. So why did he didn't say Adam, why didn't Adam 22 say, no, Prospect, no, chill, sit your ass down. We're not doing that. We're not doing that on my show. Why did you move out the way? Because that's what they do. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Now he's going to slide off and, this is your man. That's your man. That's your man.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
He said, what's wrong?
You don't call me no bitch. You crazy. You crazy.
He said, what's wrong with you? You don't call me no bitch. Now, it's okay what kills me is that it's okay for him to call anybody else a bitch, but you can't call him that. That's laughable. That is laughable, B. For real.
I was in here chilling. You call me no bitch.
We was all trying to be in here.
What's wrong with you, nigga? Right, that's what I'm talking about. What's wrong with you?
He said, I was in chilling. So that pissed you off? That pissed you to the point that you got to go and get up and hit somebody? Same thing when he did to Brandon. That somebody calling you a B pissed you off that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It sounded like to me he probably got touched. You know what I'm saying? And somebody treat him like a woman and he got touched and now he's on some, you can't call me a bitch. Don't call me a bitch. Because I think at some point in his life, somebody did treat him like a bitch. I think some dude touched him and he felt like a bitch. And then now that, he has to act all this super gangster now. I think it's something else. I think it's something deeper than somebody calling him, because it's like, usually when people say that to me, I would say, well, you can't beat this bitch. Like that's like a great comeback, because now that person's forced or may have to make a decision to jump up. You got to make the person make a decision to jump up. Because I would have said, well, since I'm a bitch, you can't beat this bitch. You can't beat this bitch. Now that person has a choice. Now if that white boy got up, then I would understand Prospect getting up and handle it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I would have got and I wouldn't even get mad at Prospect. Would have swung on him if the white boy would have got up. If the white boy would have, I wouldn't even get mad at Prospect for swinging on him.
Bro.
There you go.
I was taking a shot in here. I know, man. Damn. Hold on. I gotta find my watch. Shit. Here. Look, hold on. No glasses.
That's crazy.
I didn't even try to do all that, Slim. Nigga, call me a bitch.
Bro, you is a bitch.
Look at you.
So now that we know everything there is to know about Dodson, we can move on to this situation with him and Brendan. So Dodson justified this Kelpie beating because he says that anyone that calls him a bitch is going to get beat up. It's automatic. It's a rule that he has.
Do you remember somebody telling you, like, if anyone ever calls you a bitch, you have to beat the shit out of them?
My pops.
So anyone that calls him a bitch, he has to beat the shit out of him. So this is what Brendan did. Brendan knew that Dodson has this rule. So last night they're having an argument. Dodson and Brendan are hurling insults back and forth.
Hey,
stop wearing booty shorts off, nigga.
Take this thing on the Twitter turkey to get his hairline replenished.
Stop playing. I play tennis racket shoes on, nigga. And
they gonna revival y'all friend laughing at you.
It's funny. When you're funny, it's funny.
Friend laughing at you. That's
here's
a
the
damn
thing.
shame.
People have to get beat up by a guy wearing booty shorts.
Right. Imagine you called the name and got whooped out by a nigga in booty shorts. That's crazy. That would be a reality.
I would love to see it. You wrestle niggas on mats. We ain't seen you do nothing with your hands yet.
So as you can see, Dodson's getting mad. He's just bursting with zest. And so this is where Brendan decides to check Dodson's temperature by calling him a bitch to his face to see if he stands on that little rule that he has. And this is where things get out of control.
He's always bringing up fighting. You can't get a nigga bringing up fighting and try to put it on
the never called me no bitch.
So,
But I just caught you one. I just caught you.
Like,
Just on that you.
Brandon. Yo, Brandon's stupid. He said, "You are a bitch." I love this. Oh shit, Brandon, you stupid. He said, "You are a bitch." He said, "I just called you one." Said, "Yeah, and yeah." Let me go back, because this dude was getting tight. He was getting tight because Brandon said, "Just imagine you getting beat up by somebody who wear booty shorts. That would be embarrassing. That would be an embarrassing. That would be an embarrassing. But yeah, he was getting tight because his white friend was laughing at him. And then the other guy was like, "Yo, just imagine, you getting beat up by someone who wearing booty shorts." That really inflamed Suspect, because he thought everybody was gonna be jumping on, like snapping on Brandon. And that's why Brandon, he used all that against him by saying, "Hey, look at your man. He's even laughing at you.
This Kelpie beating because he says that anyone that calls him a bitch is going to get beat up. It's automatic. It's a rule that he has.
Do you remember somebody telling you, like, if anyone ever calls you a bitch, you have to beat the shit out of them?
My pops.
So anyone that calls him a bitch, he has to beat the shit out of him. So this is what Brendan did. Brendan knew that Dodson has this rule. So last night they're having an argument. Dodson and Brendan are hurling insults back and forth.
Hey,
stop wearing
Donnie,
shorts off, nigga.
take this thing on the tour to Turkey to get his hairline replenished.
Stop playing. I play tennis racket shoes on, nigga.
They gonna revival y'all friend laughing at you.
It's funny. When you're funny, it's funny.
Y'all friend laughing at you.
Hey,
That's
here's
a
the
damn
thing.
shame.
He might get beat up by a guy wearing booty shorts.
Imagine you caught this name and got whooped out by a nigga in booty shorts. That's crazy. That would be reality. That would be reality.
I would love to see it. You wrestle niggas on mats. We ain't seen you do nothing with your hands yet.
So as you can see, Dodson's getting mad. He's just bursting with zest. And so this is where Brendan decides to check Dodson's temperature by calling him a bitch to his face to see if he stands on that little rule that he has. And this is where things get out of control.
He's always bringing up fighting. You can't get a nigga bringing up fighting and try to put it on the other nigga to do something.
So,
but I just caught you one. I just caught you one. Just on that, you are a bitch.
Guys.
Oh, see.
Guys. Come on.
Wow.
So Brandon calls Dodson a bitch. Dodson rises to his feet and spits upon Brendan's body. So Dodson always spits on his male subjects before he starts getting busy.
What?
And that is true. Remember, he spit on Kelpie before he started beating on Kelpie. Yep. Well, he spits on Brendan, but he doesn't beat Brendan up. Brendan stands up to engage in mutual combat, at which point Dodson pulls out a knife.
What?
Oh my God. So Lush One is standing between them and he's just pounding buzz balls one after the other. And he's sagging, fully sagging, subrectally sagging. And he thinks he's not on camera right now. So he has no shame. He's just pounding buzz balls. But he didn't know that someone behind him was filming him with his phone. So Lush is in between him. He's like, shit, fool, if I'm finna jump in this motherfucker, I'm finna get drunk first, fool. On West LA, this shit's bunk, fool. Sus, you is a bitch, homie. Shut the fuck up.
Bitch, nigga, knew you was in that part. Nigga, shut up. Shut up. Nigga, knew you was shut up. Nigga, you got spit on.
No, I didn't.
You did.
No spit touch me. No spit touch me. No spit touch me.
So Brendan says that he did not get spit on. So I want to take a look at that. So Dodson stands up and he spits. This looks like a meteor shower of saliva. This looks like, this is a nice spread, like a shotgun spread. So it's a high probability rate, right? So let's see. Oh, yeah, look, right on his short leg, pant leg here, you can see a little bit of foamy spit.
What?
So he was spit on.
Guys.
Oh,
that's scary. What you want to do about it, nigga? What you want to do about it? That one. Nothing. Look, nothing. Look what? Do something about it.
Such a good point before this happened, guys. We're doing so good. Nigga, tell
For the love of Lush, would you shut the fuck up? We're trying to listen to this. We got Lush talking over everyone. Nah, fool, like we were all doing so good, you feel me? We should just all just interlace our toes and sing Kumbaya and have Rice Krispies treats, you feel me? Lush, shut the fuck up for a second, okay? You understand?
Nigga, I watched it. I watched it, nigga. I watched it, nigga. What we gonna do? What you want to do about it? What you want to do about it, nigga? What you want to do about it? Meet me outside, nigga.
You a scary nigga.
What you want to do about it? What you want to do about it?
Now, I do want to show you this little thing with the security guard. The security guard, instead of effectively separating the two, all he does is go up Almighty Dodson's shirt, caressing his nipples.
What?
And this is all he really did. And Dodson's doing a little thing with his hand. I mean, this was kind of unexpected. And it was at this point that Gunner's boyfriend blacked the screen out so we couldn't see what was going on. But I guess apparently what happened was Dodson, fearing for his life, pulled out a knife and brandished it to try to prevent himself from getting beaten up by Brendan, because Brendan charged him. And we actually have commentary from Brendan on Rich Trapper's channel. He got the exclusive.
Same time, bro, that's a huge liability. Like, why you... Bro, it's different now. You ain't just whooping niggas out. You pulling knives on niggas.
No weapons.
Come do something, Mr. There's a knife right there.
Come
You
do
do it
something.
now.
Damn, that's fucked up.
Army knife.
You're the feds. Family bad.
Now, apparently, the 16 of Nashua is furious about this, even though he like lined this whole thing up and facilitated this and knew that they really didn't like each other. And so now that it boils over, I guess he's super furious about it, which is pretty strange.
Hasn't been anywhere from Adams, because I know by now he for sure done seen this for sure.
He's pretty irate. He's pissed.
Because suspect is already on a don't put your hands on nobody list, I would already assume.
When Remo hits me up to tell me how pissed Adam is, I know that is serious because I don't ever talk to Remo.
Got you.
But Remo was like, nigga, he was just like, bro, you've been carrying yourself real well on the show. Like, you was just defending yourself. Like,
damn, bro, you finna replace suspect? You finna take suspect job?
I don't even know anything about replacing a nigga.
So
but
that's really interesting. So did Brendan bait Dodson into attacking him so that Dodson would get fired so that Brendan can take his mic?
What?
Was this all a conspiracy? I mean, Jala, we all know Jala hates Dodson, and this is Jala's boy. That you know, Brendan is Jala's creation. So was this all a setup? Is this a conspiracy to get Dodson out the way so that Brendan can be a full-time employee at No Jumper?
That's possible.
That's very interesting, actually. And I want to show you what Dodson looked like after he realized that he made a crucial mistake and he's probably going to get fired over this. Look at how worried Dodson is.
Welcome to all our new members. Thank you guys. $5.
You know he fucked up.
Niggas out of pocket, bro.
So Dodson is extremely worried,
You know he's
okay, and
fucked
he
up.
should be, because he has actually been fired. I'm getting word, breaking news here. Almighty Dodson is fired.
What?
He is fired. He just got fired. I'm watching it right now. Look at this.
I have an announcement. Many of you are probably expecting this. As of today, Almighty Suspect will no longer be a host on No Jumper. For anyone who's living in a hole in the ground, there was a confrontation last night between Brandon, aka Bucci Bear, aka Dark Brandon, and Almighty Suspect that resulted in both spit flying and a knife being pulled out. Both of these are infractions that I fear we just cannot tolerate as a business. You know, many times over the past couple of years, I've looked back at the Kelpie incident and I have felt like I was a little too lenient. Like, I feel like that incident, even though we managed to skate essentially because we got Kelpie to sign off on suing us, I think it was extremely lenient of us to not fire Sus at that time. And I'm not going to lie, there's been a couple of times since then, in particular with the whole Jalise thing, where it really, really felt like he was on the border of attacking her.
What your mama do? Thank you. You're mad. You mad. You mad. You mad. You mad.
That got a little scary for me and made me feel like, Jesus Christ, maybe this is not okay.
But see, this is what I don't understand. Why wait until somebody, when you notice this person has a history of violence, why would you still keep him on there? Why would you still keep him on there? Because wait, y'all know each other in the past? Like I didn't understand that. But he used Suspect to bring up his ratings. That's all it is. And when things were getting out of hand, that's when he wanted to play. He wants to be on this. Oh, I'm not. He wants to clean his hands now. But this has nothing to do with white folks. White folks has been doing that for a long time. They will create something and then they will wash their hands and make it seem like, well, I don't have nothing to do with that. But these are the masterminds of this. He's like I said, he's the, that's Prospect is his creation. Because he could have been, because my whole thing is he could have been got this guy out of there ever since the first incident when he beat up that white boy. That's with the first incident that should have automatically be like, no, we can't. You know this guy was a hothead. You knew this guy was a hothead. Now all of a sudden he wants to play now here come this white man. He wants to play Miss Innocent. Oh, we don't tolerate that, but you've been tolerating it for a long time because you used Prospect, and not only you used him, you pretty much told him what to do. You knew he was a hothead. You knew that, and you probably, and I won't be surprised if Adder 22 said, "Hey, you need to, start arguments or whatever." That's how we become noticed. That's how we could become famous. You need to, create beefs. I won't be surprised. That's what he told this guy. I won't be surprised.
Dodson is fired. He is unemployed. He will be going back to McDonald's, and he will be slanging those Happy Meals. What? He's going to be thumbing through those chicken nugget 50 pieces. Oh, shit. I'm getting a text message here. So that pretty much means it's time to go. I'll see you guys on the next one. Hit like and subscribe, and go check out the Patreon if you want. And I'll see you on the next one.
So there you have it. Yeah, Prospect. He got fired right after the show. He got fired. The next update was he got arrested. So I'm assuming that he's still locked up. So that's what's going on. He went down. Prospect went downhill after that. And I'm going to say this for the record: people like Prospect, they don't live too long. They don't live too long. They don't probably live. He won't live to see 40. And I'm just being nice. I don't know exactly how old he is, but I won't be surprised he won't live to see 40. Because it could take the wrong person, and that person would just end up taking this dude's life just like that. I never seen people like that who have anger issues. And they get to live out their life. It's just that don't happen. This guy is a menace. You know what I'm saying? Prospect is a menace. And this dude cannot be, he can't be, he cannot be around certain people because I don't know how I would handle it. I would just try to avoid the situation by talking about the topics. But if he keeps dissing me, keeps attacking me, then I have no choice but to attack him. But I would end up calling him a bitch too, just to see what he was going to do. Because I think eventually we was going to fight it out. But I already knew he was afraid of Brandon. That's the reason why he came in with a weapon. Because he knew it was a possibility him and Brandon was going to fight, and he was scared. Now, the white boy that he beat up, the white boy didn't fight back. The white boy sat down. You know what I'm saying? He sat down. So of course Prospect has an advantage. Prospect never fought no real dudes. He never fought real dudes. He thinks Brandon is fat. He's slow. He thought Brandon was just, oh, he can't beat me. I'm bigger. I'm slimmer than him. And that's the wrong thing to think like that. Because I know a lot of brothers that's big like Brandon, and they can fight. They just as fast, just as strong. You know what I'm saying? And this reason, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know what Suspect was thinking. I don't know what Suspect was thinking. So yeah, it's a terrible. But I'm very surprised at Brandon, because why would you want to be on that show like that? Why would you want to be on a show that known for drama? I thought I always look at Brandon as like very intelligent. He had done a lot of intellectual programs. I think that's the wrong place for Brandon to be on. I know it's probably easy money for Brandon. I don't know, but I just think that Adam 22 don't take intellectual black folks too seriously. Then I saw there was a video when Adam 22 had this dope head white guy on there. He's a white extremist, and he thinks the problem of the United States is black people. He even sound like David Duke, but this dude, you could tell this white guy, he don't have a job. You could tell this white guy he's a pothead, and the way he talks, he sounds like a pothead. And Adam 22 had Brandon to debate him about political racial views. If I was Brandon, I wouldn't even entertain that. I wouldn't even entertain that. It's stupid. I wouldn't entertain it, and I'm gonna tell you why I wouldn't entertain it. Because white people, it doesn't matter what you say to them. It doesn't matter what you prove or whatever. They're gonna think how they think. And the more Brandon kept saying, hey, you're wrong. Show him that he gave access to what he was talking about, and saying, hey, you could look this up, you could look that up. That white boy wasn't paying nothing attention. He wasn't paying attention. He still went on his racial views. He still was talking about, black people, that's all they do is rape and murder and all this other stuff. He still was stuck. I wouldn't even waste my time debating a poor white trash pothead white boy. I wouldn't even waste my time. But Adam 22 set that whole thing up. I would have said, Adam, thank you, but no thank you. I'm not wasting my time on that. Because whatever he's saying, he knows is not true. Whatever he thinks about black people, he knows is not true. He knows it. So Brandon, man, I wouldn't even entertain that. I just wouldn't even entertain that. Going to these popcast shows, and because they look at the world differently how we look at the world. They don't have to go through any type of discrimination. They don't have to go through. No one have to remind them that they're the N-word constantly. No one call white people out their name. I don't hear white people getting called on. There's white people have more respect for one another than black people have more respect for one another. I never heard white people tell another white person, "Oh, you're a poor white trash." And I'm talking about on the same equivalency that black people use the N-word toward each other. I never heard any white person say to another, keep using the word Neanderthal or Peckerwood or even the word cracker. I don't even like to use the word cracker because that word I've heard that word was used for when they used to crack the whip on black people. I don't even like that because that's like empowering them. But there's never no word that they could stick that white people use on one another that every other race use towards them. We the only race of people we get disrespected, and we disrespect each other. Now, Brandon, he used the N-word in front of those white folks. That's what I'm saying. I could not get on that show because that is the show to get black people to argue, to fight. You know what I'm saying? And it becomes a circus. It becomes a circus. So I'm just glad that nobody got hurt. But Brandon, of course, he came back. They wanted him back. They fired suspect. They wanted Brandon back. Because Brandon got strong views about certain things. He got strong views about certain things, and which I respect. There's some things I might disagree with, but sometimes I have to listen before I make a final judgment. And sometimes things might be too extreme, and you be like, "Well, let me really listen to what he says, because I might be thinking it's wrong." And Brandon do make some good, strong points. But yeah, I just feel like that situation, that was a scary situation because somebody could have got hurt. But Adam 22, he knew what he was doing because he kept them on there. He kept the troublemaker on there. Like I said, I met guys like Suspect. These guys are the most cowardly dudes on the planet. And they try to act tough because they feel like they don't want the world to look at them as who they really are. So they try to overdo it. They want to overdo it. I got to show that I'm tough. Let me go beat up this guy. Let me go spit on this guy. No one's a possibility you're going to get your ass beat. No one's a possibility. So, yeah. So, I just want to talk about this. I just want to throw that in there because we got to be careful. Black people got to be careful going on these white podcasts. You know, especially these really ratchet, degenerate white podcasts, because white people could be just as ghetto. They could be just as degenerate, more than white people, because they don't. These white people, like Adam 22, these are the creators of degeneracy. These people are the creators of being ghetto and being ratchet. They are the creators of that. Why does black people have to fall for this stuff? Because you want some money. You want because you trying to get put some money in your pocket when you could have just like stopped doing what you're doing, stop being a damn asshole and just do the right thing. Black people don't even want to do the right thing. Look at Adam. Look, you got this clown, Whack 100. He don't like Africa. He don't think he's African. He says Africa, United States, went to war. He will go and fight for the United States. I can't respect people like that. You became a blood because United States of America made your blood. You became a blood because the United States made your blood. Because black people was getting lynched, black people was getting killed And this is the reason why black people had to form gangs. It was getting out of hand. So you saying that you power rule, that's not saying anything. Show me your work. How'd you power rule? Show me you going against the police. But you on Adam 22 snitching and ratting on other black folks. It's sick. Then he had Hassan Campbell, and he brought him with his foolishness. Adam 22 is an ex-porn star that let black men, think about it, I'm going to say this again. Adam 22 is a porn star that he lets black men bang his wife. And he's recording this. You let another dude bang your wife. You don't know how sick that is. Your wife is your wife. But because you want to make some money, you rather get some black dude because his penis is larger than yours. And you get this, you're satisfied of a black dude banging your wife. Do you know how sick that is? That's sick. But this is the world we live in. But black people have no problem. And Adam 22, he plays around with these dudes. He plays around till he gets personal with these guys. These guys be wanting to, they get upset, they get mad. Some of them want to fight him. I can't, who? And Adam 22, he feels like, oh, I'm white, you won't be able to touch me. And I'm just like, yo, you can't play around with that. Like, you want these guys to confess crimes on social media. So don't be surprised if Adam 22 is an informant. And these guys coming on there and he's giving them money and he's hooking them up with this and that. And they snitching. He got them snitching on one another. I don't understand. We've never learned our lesson. We don't learn our lesson. Our people don't learn. The Jerry Springers, the Mauries, and they see black people. Even Steve Welko, whatever his name is. Same thing. It becomes a circus, and the white man, he sits back and he collects. Adam 22 is making money off of No Jumper. He's making money. All that is out of all that stuff that he got. It's came from porn money. That's porn money that he set up. So I don't know. It's just don't make any sense. But like I said, I'm glad Brandon, he held his own. But I don't think that he should have been. I don't think that's not his thing. I don't think he should go back on that. Because it might not be. It's suspect. First it was suspect, but it might be somebody else. It might be another. It might be someone else. And when they realize that their ratings is going down, when their ratings are going down, they're going to bring somebody like Prospect again. And this time, something serious is going to happen. Someone's going to end up getting hurt really, really bad. So yeah, but Prospect, he deserved what he got. He got fired, and now he got arrested. I don't know if it's a felony charge or whatever, but I just know that he got arrested. That was my last update. And like I said, guys like that don't live too long. I know that for a fact. Because they'll take the wrong person. He's gonna mess with the wrong person. They're gonna take his life. That's just how it is. They're gonna take his life. So I don't, so I don't know. And that's another thing. He has children. And he's acting like this. That's sad. But shout out to Brandon. I'm glad he's okay. But my man, you better than that, man. I just think that you should not continue going on that ratchet ghetto ass platform like that, knowing that only thing they want is ratings. And they'll get the most degenerate Negro they can find to get on that show. Either they're going to snitch, either they're going to use them as for beef purposes. They're going to use them for something. They're going to use them for something. Wow. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Just want to give my thanks. Thank Rashid for coming through. And thanks for anybody that decide to watch this in the future. But I had to really, really give my 2 cents about that. That's my first time ever seeing Brandon get into any type of altercation like that. Like I said, I'm glad that he's okay. I don't give a fuck about Prospect, but I'm just glad that he didn't get hurt. I'm glad that Brandon, my boy Brandon, didn't get hurt. So that was a good thing. But I know Brandon can handle his own, but I just think that situation should never have went down like that. Because these white people knew they had problems. And I blame Adam 22. I blame that other white guy who was there. And I blame them. I blame them. I blame them. We got to stop supporting these white troublemakers. We got to stop supporting them. Because we the one looking stupid. We the one getting hurt. And we the one dying. They not dying. They just sit back, collect, and say, "Yo, look at these niggas. Look at them. We give them a little crumbs and look how they act. They'll turn on their own mother." So we gotta wake up, man, because that right there is a wake up call. That right there is a wake up call. With that said, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Until next time, peace.
Thank you.